Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. It's been a while since I've done a video for YouTube, and I've been gone for about a week. So this video, it's also gonna be for the members from Substack, and I'm gonna do it together for YouTube since I haven't done for YouTube in about, I don't know, about a month. But I wanted to maybe combine them and just tell you my thoughts on the markets as I'm coming back. I've been traveling for about a week, and let's just see where we are and kind of how everything looks. Usually when I go away and I travel, markets have a tendency to, kind of sell off or be negative. This time around was much better, and we've gotten some nice breakouts and some interesting rallies, definitely. So I'm going to take a look at from a daily perspective, weekly, monthly. I also have some wave counts that I want to kind of revisit. So just bear with me. I'm going to try not to keep it too long, and basically see where this takes us. So I'm going to take a moment and start with the Elliott Wave counts and see what they're telling us, and the main markets that I follow, basically with my members, and the one that I personally also look at day in and day out as a gauge of the overall health of the market, are the main indices. Obviously we look at crypto and dollar, gold, stuff like that, but mainly is the direction of the larger markets, what's going on in there. And we know we're in an uptrend, and that's how we've been counting it for a long time. We continue to see this as a larger third wave with targets towards 62, 6,300. We'll see if they're going to get hit by the end of the year or not. I mean, we're, as you already probably know, we're into a period of seasonally, should be pretty decent. We put the elections behind us. Rate cuts are on the table. So everything is kind of supposed to work as a nice tailwind and continue to push the risk assets forward. If that's the case or not, we'll see. I continue to remain, pretty heavily invested. I've taken some stuff off the table today. I'll show you our entry in Bitcoin also. So that has been exploding. So it's been pretty okay. Right now, we had a nice three-way setback here in the S&P at about 32%, 38% of this entire rally, and we break into new highs here. The targets continue to remain somewhere into this neighborhood. We'll see if we're going to get them. So that's the S&P. Very simple, basic. If you want to see the larger chart, the larger count, that's kind of where I sit with it. See if I can squeeze it up just tiny here. Right, a larger second wave here. If you look at my previous videos, you will know, that kind of multi-decade, that secular chart that it shows us that we continue to to have a tendency to push higher, as the markets usually do. You have little bear markets here and there. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller, and I actually made a nice chart for our members about in one of the videos a few weeks back, where I showed all the bear markets, how much percentage they sell off and how to avoid them. Very interesting kind of thing to kind of look at. So let me go back and follow the other ones. So Nasdaq Composite in here, I think also looks pretty healthy. I mean, can argue with higher highs and higher lows. We're in a larger third wave here as well. Dow Jones Industrial broke above, that nice channel line to the top, and as soon as it breaks, it kind of gives you the more the confidence that you're in a larger third wave. So that's what I'm going to continue to follow here as well after this nice three-way setback. We'll see if we're going to get it. Russell finally started to explode and move, labeling this as a leading diagonal in wave 1, wave 2. Here is the weekly time frame with the wave 2 low, 1, 2, and then we're thinking, hey, it goes higher. And if you look at the technical page, which I'll show you, that also looks pretty healthy. So we've got to be patient because this one is a bit more volatile, but, nice 5 waves here with a little 3-way setback. I think it's a wave 2, but, we'll see. If we start to break below 2,300, then, we're starting to get into different issues, and we might have to pare back and, rethink some of this stuff. But until then, this is good to go. And then here is IBIT. I showed this on Twitter and also, numerous times. I haven't modified anything in here, right? So our wave 1, wave 2. But I do think, if I look at Bitcoin, I do think that this is maybe a leading diagonal. We're long this. We got long. Let me show you. I think we got long, if I'm not mistaken, right as we broke this guy right there, right? Because we saw the move in a 3 wave, then you buy the break of the B wave. You run a little bit of a risk of an X or something, but you got to take it. We've taken this several times, these moves, right? We've taken some longs, and we had to come back, break even, or a small loss. But right now we're in a big move, and we have decent profits in here, over, I don't know, 30% or something. So this is a pretty, this is the move that we didn't want to miss, and we got it. So we continue to stay involved. But as a wave count, I look at it as a 1-2, and then a leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4 with a small wave 2, and then we're on a third, which should send us towards 100,000 before it takes a bit of a pause. We'll see. I mean, Bitcoin is naughty, but the larger picture here is this weekly, which I'm definitely watching, and I'm interested to see how it resolves. Some could argue that this is just a small fifth wave, and you're going to be done here and then begin a big retracement. I mean, you never know, right? There's no clear way of telling. If there's some people watch RSI, divergence, this, that, and the other, but I've seen plenty in my experience where you think it's a 5 wave and it's actually the beginning of a larger third. So I personally don't like to bet on 5 waves. I like to think that they're going to be thirds, and then if they start to show signs that they're not and start to deteriorate and not have traction and give other, we look at all this, then we move away. All you can do is continue to raise stops and follow along. And if it's a 1, 2, and 2 or a diagonal, that's a good thing, and can shoot us towards 200,000 over the next several years. So I still like this count as my main count, and I'll continue to to try to be a part of it. Some people are cutting grass outside, so there might be a bit noisy, but you'll hopefully understand. So anyway, let me go back to take a look at what's going on in here. With the daily time frame. So the S&P Fed cuts 25 last week. We gap higher in here. And it's the election and all of that, and this administration, right, could be maybe better for stocks or Bitcoin or whatever. It doesn't matter. The chart. I mean, this ABC in here was telling you, that things are looking interesting and one should, get involved or have exposure to the market. And this candle right here came on really good high volume, and it looked, like it's a good buy, and we did, and we gapped, and now we're being rewarded. So if you look here at the advanced decline line, I talked to my members about this 50-day correction in here. Guys, I gotta stop this video. I'll be right back. All right, so let's continue to go, because I had to stop it. I mean, these people were cutting the grass, and I couldn't talk anymore. But anyway, I think we were looking at the advanced decline line here as it was testing the 50-day moving average, and it bounced. What's interesting in here is that it does make a bit of a lower high while the stocks are making a higher high. So I'm a bit concerned. I can reduce some exposure, like I said, but main thing is watching prices. I mean, breadth could be tricky at times, so we'll keep an eye on this as a potential warning signal. But it does continue, to look fairly good and up into the right. Now, the S&P in here, the S&P 500, Nasdaq Composite. Really high volume, nothing to complain on. The PPO just did a bit of a reset, and it pushed higher. I like what I see there. I like what I see on the S&P. It just quickly came into the 40. Between 50 and 40, you'll find support in uptrends with the RSI, which is kind of what it did here, just above the 50-day moving average, which is such a simple indicator, right? So you combine an ABC pullback, with something like a 50-day, something like an RSI, just clean, simple indicators, and it can take you a long way without having to overthink things. You take a look at the Nasdaq. Remember, he was kind of underperforming, and all of a sudden it gapped 3 days in a row, and we're trading up high. It looks nice and healthy with an RSI that's been holding above 50 for quite a while. Magnificent 7 also came back. I mean, you can say that the Apple, it's not really reacting, and maybe Microsoft and some of these mega caps are not really responding, but there is other areas that are doing fine, and they're picking up the slack. IWM, it's one that it's quite amazing, because I mean, listen, we got long and we stayed long, and it tested the 50, and it put us to the grinder in here, especially after that day. And I'm like, man, it never really closed below the 50, so we got to hold on strong and see what happens. And then sure enough, it just gapped up, and with the election and all, and now we break into new all-time high. So that's an awesome one. Then you have Nasdaq Composite in here, which is fine. Dow Jones selling off a little bit today, but also doing good. And then Bitcoin, look at this thing, 88, almost 90,000. It touched 90,000. I'll look at the weekly charts, but now you have, sure, you're in the third wave. We're a bit extended. I mean, we can pause and wait for this 20-day moving average and the 50-day to catch up. So it doesn't have to be every single day moving higher, $3,000-$4,000. So that's fine for me. But we will, we will watch it here in our coverage every day. So then Ethereum also starting to move, had a great move. I mean, I was concerned about Ethereum, but can't argue with this. I own it longer term. I didn't take it as a trade because I don't like the setup, and I still don't like the setup. So until it maybe creates and does something like it pulls back and does some kind of a neckline, and then you have your left shoulders, your right shoulders, and then it goes and breaks. It needs a bit more time to do that. And then what else we got here? We got TNX, which are still high, right? The rates, even though the Fed is cutting, the interest rates are going up, so that's weird. And then you have a dollar that's been rallying, from 100 to 105. So what's up with that? What is the dollar telling us? It's this just a, new administration type of a move. I don't know. I don't like the dollar being this high, and it also, hits gold in here as it's breaking below two important moving averages. Now, I don't think this is going to be a crash in gold. What happens here is you have uptrends, right? And they get tested. So we'll see if dollar finds some sellers and gold can do this and then start to move again to the upside. So got to watch it this week on how it closes. Same for silver, to see if it kind of follows track. This is the 150-day, which is usually a good supporting uptrend. So there could be interesting opportunities here in precious metals kind of coming up, and oil is a mess once again. Now, I want to take you through the weekly chart because these are interesting, right? So New York Stock Exchange, I mean, look at the RSI here, guys, just above the 50-day, right at the 70. That's an uptrend. This is an uptrend right here. All day long and twice on Sunday. So you got rejections, nice on the 20-day. That's what you want to see. I like it. I'll stay long as it lets me. S&P, same story on the weekly. Every single dip onto the 50 weekly RSI. It's a buying opportunity confirmed by the market. So you don't have to buy on the day that it comes down. You can buy the following week and you're still fine. You can buy the following week right there, right? Because that's your confirmation that the bulls are coming back in. So, there is time to buy it, right? You don't have to try to catch anything because the market will show us, and most of the time it tries to do so. And same for the Nasdaq, looking pretty decent. So I'm not going to fight this trend. There's no reason to, right? There's no point. That kind of hurts in general. So you look at the Dow Jones with a nice push up there. We're coming to the end of the year. Christmas is coming, Thanksgiving. People should be excited about that. IWM, nice move on high volume last week. Yeah, we're selling off a bit this week, but RSI, look, that's what kept me in the trade because it never really broke below it, right? It's just kind of nice and steady and tells you just be patient. You're going to get put through the ringer a couple of times because it's going to whip you up and down, but trust the weekly charts and don't be afraid of that. Then you look at Bitcoin. Look at this. After almost a full year consolidation, we're started in February, March, and then, we finally starting to break above. I mean, a base like this, it's too long. It's too long to, in my view, to say that it's going to be over very quickly. I could be definitely wrong and could do that. I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is we're going to continue to go because this consolidation, I mean, it was a fight between bulls and bears, and finally bulls won and it broke. So once it broke, have at it, and hopefully it goes to 150,000. I don't know when, but the break is good, and I trust it and I like it. So what am I going to do, right? I'll show you. Let me show you where we got in on Bitcoin on the daily charts because I think that's an important point to reiterate once again. So you see this right here, this candle, and look at the volume right there. Right, that told us, hey, nice ABC, failure below 60K, go up, and you break the top of the B wave, get involved. Right, a little bit pain here, a little bit of pain here, but hey, uptrends, moving averages, pushing higher. What is one to do? Just wait it out, and wait for it to do its move. And it's doing it. Now we'll see how long it's going to last, but we're in it. Treasury holding at about 4.4. The dollar strong. That worries me a little bit. I don't like it to be this strong. Now I got to take this phone call. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry about that. So the US dollar, I mean, I guess it concerns me a little bit in here. What level is this? I mean, we're right there in resistance. Can the stock market and the dollar go up together? I mean, I guess they can. I mean, dollar up, it's kind of a risk off. You maybe it's signaling something with a little divergence on the advanced decline line. So we gotta be a bit careful. There is a bit of a froth, but the market, I think it's far from telling us multiple weeks in a row that it's reaching a top. Right? It's still moving into the right direction. Right? There's signs on the daily time frames where you start to lose interest, where stocks start losing. I mean, there's a lot of leaders in a lot of industries that break up and they have strong trends. So I don't know what the dollar wants here, but we'll keep an eye on it. And then, gold, it broke the 10-week moving average. That's a bit nasty. So we'll see how it closes. This little candle up at the top, it's a bit scary. And then silver also pulling back slightly after a nice three-way setback. So I don't know what's wrong with it, but we'll watch it. I mean, I don't own it as a trade, just as a longer term metal. And then crude oil looks like it wants to break lower. What's up with that? But it's in a range. Okay, now monthly charts, which are also very important because they give you the picture, right? And look, the S&P. I talked about it in these videos also with my members. I mean, look at this hammer. These rejections from lower prices, even if you look in the past, they're bullish. They're not bearish, right? So you sell during the month and then you close into the upper end of that candle. That's bullish. Those are hammers. That's pretty nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this trend. It's just clean. So, you want me to just sell the market just because it does this? Like that's like, it's got to do at least a month, warn me, do something. Sure. Can he do this? I don't think so. So let me hold on a second. Let me pull up that chart that I was talking. Hold on. Okay, I found it. Well, here it is. So I did a whole video about this, and it's pretty cool because it shows you also, not just on the monthly, but then on the weekly, on the daily, kind of how the tops get formed. And it takes time. It takes time. A top, with the exception of maybe COVID, but even that one gave you clues when it started to break. A lot of these other very large bear markets, like 50%, because that's, those are the disaster ones, right? You feel 34, 35, 27. I mean, we only had a 27% pullback in January to October 2022, right? I mean, the nasty ones, obviously, you look back, at the Great Depression, you were down 85%, but hasn't happened since. You were 37, 50, 50, 58 in 2007, 2009, 2002 dot-com bubble. These are the ones that you're trying to avoid, right? At 37, 35%, 25%, it's painful, but, it's manageable, but it still shows you, where to kind of get out. If you watch the market day by day and week by week, you get the signs. I don't think we're there. There's no signs here just yet. So we'll see. NASDAQ looking nice. I mean, you look, that's a 10-month moving average. That's what the red line is, a 10-month. The blue one is the 40-month. So the 10-month just hugs the prices, right? Anytime it comes back to it, you buy. You buy it with confirmation, and hopefully it continues. Like nobody ever knows if you will or not, but I mean that's your chance. And every once in a while they dip down into the 40-month average, and those are bear markets, and larger ones, and you get to participate if you're waiting for confirmation and all. So look, this is Dow Jones Industrial also making new all-time highs, Russell making new all-time highs, and finally after a long consolidation. Now if this starts, I want to participate in something like this. that if it is, it's just the first part of it, right? This should take much longer, not just a little bit. It should go somewhere up there towards the top of that channel. Don't worry about the scale here because it's screwed up, but you get the point. That's the direction. Then you have semiconductors. These are a bit iffy, right? Not really responding, but holding the 10-month moving average. They were leaders. Here is Bitcoin. I mean, breaking after this beautiful channel and it's starting to move. My goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, does this look like a 5-wave move by the way it behaves? I think that looks like the beginning of a larger third, right? When you have candles that look like that. Sorry. All right, that look like they're strong. Now, mind you, it's only November 12th, right? So I don't want to jinx it, but it looks good for the beginning of a third, not for the beginning of a 5 or for ending in a 5th wave, in my view. And then you have Ethereum. After a couple of months of just sideways consolidation, finally creates a nice buying in here and creates a little bit of a just a little bit of a bottom right there. Right, and you can do this and move towards. I want to see Ethereum at 10,000 at some point, but we'll see. Then you have your 10-year, which is this a 3-wave setback? Hopefully not. If it is, we're in trouble with the rates going. But so far they're kind of stalling here, 4.5, and the Fed will fight that. And then the dollar here to the top of the range, so that's a bit scary. Gold. There's still plenty left on this month, but you're in an uptrend. So eventually we'll get back towards 10 month and there'll be an opportunity. So we got to watch that because if you look in 2010, 2011, right, every time it dipped there, it was a buying opportunity. And I would do the same thing right now. Same for silver. And then oil is a mess as always. Guys, this is where I'm at every day. Monday through Thursday, 10, 15, 20-minute video, depending on how much we got to talk about the markets. About stocks that I own, what I buy, what I sell. There's a chat in here as well. We talk to the guys. So you want to join? It's like $8 a month. Might as well be free. So I love you all. Sorry for missing so many videos in here, but glad to be back and we can talk later. All right. Bye-bye.